Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horizon Podcast, Overwatch and Beyond. I'm one of your hosts, Joseph or Oracle, and today I'm being joined by.
Hi, I'm Pings or Leo.
I am a Silver through Masters. I have multiple accounts. Console, Flex main.
And I am a Platinum PC Flex Tank and DPS.
And it makes me feel happy that even though you're on a superior thing, I'm still better than you at the game.
Well, you can try and say that.
It's true.
As Jeff Captain.
What's your SR, please?
1v1 me.
What's your SR? Exactly.
I'm going to ignore the fact that I just dropped 50
Exactly.
SR.
Exactly. You dropped 50?
Yeah.
Whatever, we'll get to that. Alright, so, to start off with, I thought we'd talk about the grand finals.
Right.
Alright, so, I am a Gladiators fan. He is a Valiant fan.
All
And
the way.
we are both shocked that Valiant won Stage 4.
Okay, shocked. Calm down.
You're right, they weren't even in it. But
Okay, calm down. The
We're-
coaching staff and the players did a really good effort. You could see that they put the preparation in.
no, a good effort was fuel.
Once I saw the Valiant going up against the Gladiators in the first semi-final, I could tell that a lot of preparation went into it. And I was
Yeah.
very confident.
In that game, definitely. That was a very close game. That was a game I really enjoyed watching because we're both
Battle
from
for LA.
Yeah, it was Battle from LA. We're both very involved in this, of course, and it was a really good match as well. Just some good Overwatch there.
Yeah, that whole day was just solid Overwatch the whole way. Every single
Definitely.
match.
I think my favorite match though was Fuel versus Excelsior.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because watching a team that came up from, very, very bad, very, a lot of scandals, like XQC, just bad, not great team, to come back in such a way.
I think a large part of that is thanks to Aero, their new head coach.
Oh,
The moment
100%.
he came in, he worked wonders for the team.
Their team had because I was saying from the beginning, this is a team that can do great things, and I think it was just mismanaged, but they're definitely a lot better now.
Yeah, and going into season 2, they will be definitely a solid contender.
I mean, they won't be in contenders, unlike
Not
XQC.
the contenders, yes.
That's-
Rip XQC.
Yeah, that feels bad.
Yeah.
But so for the grand finals in New York, obviously these stage 4 finals are really important. But going into the grand finals, who do you think has the biggest chance of winning?
Well, I mean, obviously, everybody's going to place their bets on New York, and that's a solid way to go. But we do have to bear in mind that there is around a month to prepare for all of the playoff matches. So we're going to see some really interesting coaching and strats coming out from all of the teams, hopefully. So I think it's more up in the air than people would like to think.
I definitely agree, but I do think that NYXL has a really strong chance of winning. I of course would love Gladiators would win, but I think the best chance we have against them is Valiant because they played out of their minds in this last match against NYXL. They played really, really good, and I really want to see what they bring to the grand finals.
Oh yeah, totally. And in the press conference after the match, the coaches had said they, really studied hard on the NYXL,
And you could really tell.
Yeah. And if things keep going, that way, then it seems like we have a number on them. So.
Well, definitely, you definitely have a chance.
Yeah.
I was, yeah, but that was just some great Overwatch played by everyone there that day.
Yeah, I totally wouldn't be surprised to see upsets in the playoff matches because, once again, there's a month to prepare. They'll have a lot of time to work things out, to rest from the regular season, and just get ready to show their all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even as important as the very top is, I would even say a much like different, maybe not different, but another very important game would be at the bottom of the roster, or not the bottom, but not the leaders in the the Pacific standings or the division standings. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So like maybe I really want to see Fusion coming back because they,
Yeah.
as a team, I really like them. They have a lot of good players. Carpe, Neptuno, these really big names, but they're just not consistent enough, I think, to be able
Yeah.
to do anything.
I would label them as one of the most inconsistent teams for sure. They they show up when they show up. They're an insane team.
They're
They also
really,
have
yeah.
really low lows, and when they're not feeling it, they lose big
You can
matches.
really, well, I think most of it falls on Carpe. Really,
Yeah, he's the carry.
he's
Yeah,
the decider. If he's not feeling it, if he can't hit those shots, if he's not, getting in their back line, really disrupting them, their team is basically nothing. I mean, not
yeah,
basically nothing. They have a good team, but it's just not the same without that like heavy widow carry, that heavy tracer carry.
and a lot of what they didn't have the best stage for, and I attribute a lot of that to Hotba and Sado. I don't agree entirely with them being put in.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe Sado over Fraggy. Obviously, he was a very aggressive and
it
good
was. I
player
think it
and
was.
often overextended. But
I think what happened there was it was they're very good players. I have to say, Sato is a very very good mechanical player.
yeah,
But I would say it was too late in both the stage and the season to be changing their strats up like that because
yeah,
they had put so much time into their other tank that it was
yeah.
kind of crazy that they at that point decided, hey, we're not gonna put him in
And
anymore.
obviously, there's the language barrier thing as well.
Yeah,
Fraggy and Poco obviously spoke better English than Sado and Hotba, and that's also another major aspect. When we see these teams put in the Koreans, there is definitely a clear decrease in communication.
well, I think that's one of the reasons that the all Korean teams are so dominant in stage one,
Yeah,
even part of stage two. Like you could see Dynasty, you could see Spitfire, you could see NYXL. Not as much, but still very much up there. Basically, because their team all spoke Korean.
yeah. And I
The
think a large part, maybe not a large part, but a small portion of why the Western teams, at least Western being teams with at least some
Western-based
non-Koreans on
teams.
them, yeah, um, they're being able to communicate better with the Koreans on their team because obviously all the teams now have Koreans on them. Basically,
Yeah.
um, the Koreans are probably learning better English, and the non-Korean players are obviously learning to communicate better with them, which is why we are seeing this increased synergy between the Western players and Korean players.
Well, yeah, that's very true. But I think that's one of the reasons Gladiators really excelled Sage 2. Because
Yeah,
with the addition of Fissure, like with other teams, he's a great pick. But with other teams, he might have taken a bit longer. But because we had Bishu, who's a
yeah,
American native who spoke Korean,
he's
it
a
was
very
really
valuable
helpful.
player.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really great for getting him into the team.
yeah. Having a translator playing is obviously a very useful asset.
Yeah, it's almost more important. Well, I wouldn't say more important, but it's probably about as important as having great mechanical skills.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
Like if
being able to have a translator on your team is a massive boost to communication. That's huge.
definitely. Well, but as I said, stage one, the Korean team's really popping off. But what happened to Spitfire and Dynasty? I mean,
Honestly, um, obviously we're not entirely sure if it's the coaches, something going on behind the scenes, players being burnt out. We're not really sure, but also I don't think they've decreased in skill as much as people like to think. I think it's also due to the fact that the other teams increased in skill at a rate faster than they did.
yeah, there's
I
definitely
feel like they got complacent.
They got. I mean, I don't know if they didn't improve as fast. I think they didn't improve in the right ways.
Mm.
Because most of the hero pool, at least that I've seen, is probably around the same for both of these teams. They haven't really expanded it too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas other teams like, I keep going back to Gladiators because they're such a great example of how a bad team, the start of the season, can really come back.
Yeah.
And
Sure. Yeah,
and Valiant as well is like that. But Gladiators picked up Fissure, who's such a huge crutch to this team. That
yeah.
it allowed them to play a lot of other compositions we couldn't play with Remix. We couldn't play
Honestly,
with a lot
just
of
on
other
pure
heroes.
value, I think Fisher should be the MVP. Just on
Definitely.
pure impact on the team he joined, it was honestly stunning. how
Yeah,
he did
because
that.
people are saying Big Boss Pine, who's great. People are saying who else? They're saying
Jonak,
Jonak. Yeah, they're playing
Sabian, all that. Okay.
NYXL players. Huh. No, but they're playing a bunch of heroes that are or players, sorry, that really were great, that were just amazing, but they excelled on a team that was excelling, whereas Fissure brought a team that was not as good as they could have been to something that was excelling.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a huge impact on the team he joined,
Definitely.
which is bringing up the NYXL again. The official All-Star rosters were announced for the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
Fissure's playing.
No surprise,
He's the main
Atlantic
tank.
Division. 4 of them are NYXL
4?
players.
Let me
4.
guess. Sabio
4
beat
out of the
Pine,
6.
Jonak.
Yeah,
Probably
that
one of their
makes
tanks. Miro?
Arc.
Arc. Huh?
Yeah. But I mean, that's no surprise. Obviously,
No.
they're very good players, but
Of course.
that's not a very balanced. Looking at the All-Star team for the Atlantic Division, it is not very balanced at all.
Yeah.
I believe they've got 3 DPS. They got Carpe as well.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah. The
As we
Pacific
said
Division
earlier, he's
All-Star is much more
not-
diverse, and they've got a decent team comp.
Yeah, it's a 2-2-2, no?
Yeah, I think yeah. And there's a more variety of teams representing.
Yeah. Alright, so moving on from that, there was one other team I wanted to talk about, which was Shock. Now,
Right.
a lot of I don't know how many people actually talk about this. I haven't heard very much, but this was a team that was originally said that was going to dominate. They had a bunch of mid-season that were coming in. Sinatra was one, who's supposed to just completely demolish.
Yeah, I do believe he's overrated.
He didn't. There's really good players on Shock. Architect, Dante, Baby Bay. These are names that you can hear and know that they're just going to pop off. But they didn't do as well as they were expected to, and I'm just wondering why.
Honestly, I think it was due to their mentality, and I think they had the right plan going into this. They didn't really see this inaugural season as one they were going to try. Okay, obviously they were going to try and win it, but they didn't expect themselves to. The coaching staff and the management has consistently said that this was kind of a building season for them, with all the new players they were bringing in, Architect, Choi Hyobin, all those new the Korean players, and obviously
Yeah.
Sinatra coming of age. They've always said that this was just the season to kind of get their grips, and then season 2 they said they were going to have all cylinders firing, and they were going to be a top tier team.
And I can definitely see that.
Yeah, with how they've been playing and the acquisition of Krusty, Boston's former coach, things are, and obviously their stage 3 and stage 4 performance, they are looking very solid going into season 2.
Yeah, and during the off season, I'm not sure. It's not just for San Francisco, but I was just gonna say a lot of these teams have players that are going to be playing in the World Cup for their respective countries, and this is a lot of practice for these players. Because
no, totally. That's a huge boost.
Because this is just even more team practice. A different team though, it gives them a fresh perspective, and it's really gonna have them come back looking a lot more better, I would say.
Yeah, and as well as that, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the rosters are for the World Cup yet.
They haven't all been
Yeah,
released. The
and
U.S.
the rosters
has.
for the new teams coming into season 2.
Yes.
But I'm sure there will be some players in the World Cup that will be joining the Overwatch League season 2 on the new teams or as transfers to existing teams.
Definitely.
That'll be interesting.
Another thing, how do you feel about Boston Uprising?
Disappointed.
Do they belong in the grand finals? Because they were dominant stage 3. They were huge,
Yeah.
but after losing Dreamcasper for very good reasons, I'm not saying anything that I don't want to get in trouble here, but I'm just saying, like, I think that was actually what put them over the edge, because stage 4, they have been doing bad.
Yeah, no, that definitely was a tipping point. And I think that started their descent. Even though afterwards they looked like they were fine without him.
4 and 6 this season.
Yeah, mistakes never really stepped up to the plate to fill Dreamcasper's shoes. And I wouldn't say he was a carry for the team, because obviously the team is full of amazing players, Gamsu and Striker and Neko. But yeah, and as well as getting, I don't know what the decision was behind releasing Krusty, if there was something going on there, but that's a terrible decision. Lots of people would call him the best coach in Overwatch.
I mean, you could even, I mean, there's an argument to be made there. I would personally say Dallas Fuel's new coach is the best coach.
Oh yeah, definitely. He is very solid.
What's his name?
What he's done for the team. Arrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's really good, but definitely Krusty is top tier in the way of coaching.
Yeah.
So
interesting. His coaching, mentality is, what he brings to the Shock now that he's with them.
Yeah, they look definitely really good.
Yeah.
Recently. And last thing before we move on, Shanghai was not doing good. What should they have changed? Because honestly, I think they did everything right. They just didn't do it good enough. They brought in new players. They changed up their hero pool. They evolved with the meta. I think they got a new coach at one point.
Yeah.
They just were not performing at the level.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's the mechanical skill of the players or the coaching staff or the management or something going on behind the scenes. But yeah, they just really weren't showing up.
There was definitely something.
And the sad part is they had chances to win. They had plentiful chances.
They did. They had a lot of matches they could have definitely won. A lot of matches that were really close.
And the thing is, what makes it even more sad is they're not that far behind the other teams. They're only just slightly behind.
They're just 120 map losses.
Yeah. But I mean, like, they've beaten, when teams sub in their B teams just to give them some playtime against the Dragons often beat them handily. So it's not like they're, just a trash team that belongs in contenders or anything.
I mean,
players have the skill.
I wouldn't say that teams in contenders are bad. There's a lot of teams that are in contenders that could definitely play against teams that are in Overwatch League.
Yeah, I can see that totally. Especially the feeder teams to many of the Overwatch
definitely
League.
Gladiators, Legion.
Yeah.
And what was it? Hurricane. Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, obviously the Hurricanes went up against Fusion University and beat them. So those were the top two teams contenders. So that's very impressive that these contenders teams are able to handily, progress through the ranks and become better players. I'm sure we'll see some transfers from the contenders teams to their.
I mean, we even saw
Yeah.
one from Overwatch League to contenders. Big
Yeah.
up XQC.
Ooh.
No disrespect though. No disrespect. I really like XQC as a person. I watch his stream a lot, but he and I don't
He doesn't know
think
how to control himself.
I don't think he deserved to be banned for what he did. Um, Pings here is in the other mindset, kind of in the minority, but I do believe he wasn't doing as great as he could have.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's a bad person at heart. He's a cool, funny guy. But the fact that he did these things and multiple times, like, it wasn't just a one-time thing. There were a few instances that he, behaved inappropriately. And I do think that warrants action of some part. And maybe banning him wasn't the entirely right move, but
I don't think it was
he did
the
need some
wrong
punishment.
move.
Yeah.
I think it was best for him and the league. All right,
Yeah.
so
The league's image.
yeah, so I think we're gonna move on to our next segment now, which is called "Getting Stunned Every 3 Seconds," looking at the patch notes.
Yeah.
So, I just want to talk about a few things that were mentioned recently. So, have you seen the new Rhine changes that were being talked about?
No, inform me.
So, I'm actually not that sure myself. I was hoping you would be, but it was so Jeff Goodman, principal game designer, said that they were looking at completely redesigning Ryan from the ground up, reworking how he plays and how he just feels overall. So
That's really interesting, actually, because
yeah,
I'd say Reinhardt's one of the most stable, well-balanced heroes in the game. I don't know if that's warranted.
he's been in and out of the meta with very little tweaking by Blizzard.
Yeah.
Like,
Overall, he's a very solid character design.
yeah, he is. He's also a very, very stable character,
Yeah.
I guess. You already said that, but
He's up there with the most, well-balanced heroes, that being like Tracer and Genji. The ones
Genji?
we haven't seen him. I'd say Genji's well-balanced, yeah.
Tracer, I would say, is underbalanced or under.
Currently, with the current meta, yeah.
Let me just blink. Stunned, killed. Oh, I'm gonna recall real quick. Just kidding. Stunned.
This meta isn't fun for all those Tracer 1 tricks.
It's definitely fun for tank mains.
Betas, yeah. And I mean, okay, as a tank main, my tank main perspective, I loved dive. I really enjoyed the dive meta. I enjoy the current meta to a degree, but just the fact that it's a lot slower now. I preferred the more fast-paced action, and the fact that so many pushes can just be stopped now by stuns, coordinated pushes as well. Like low skill right click Brigittas.
I really am just opposite of you. I mean, not the new meta is good. I don't like it, but not because of Brigitte. I never like dive because I'm a majority. So I'm a flex across all heroes, but I play a lot of Reinhardt, and let me tell you, it's not fun to get snuck up on a Tracer when you have a McCree on your team who can't shoot for anything. I think I think Brigitte should.
A console Overwatch.
Okay, well, who's a higher rank? Okay, so yeah, even in my Masters account, which was Grandmasters for a bit, and you're in Platinum, so it was. Even when you're like communicating with your team and stuff, it's not fun to be picked off by divers. But now, I think Brigitte is doing too much.
Yeah, she fills a lot. She's a support, she's a tank, she's kind of a DPS, she can obviously one-shot Tracer.
Well, I think what she does too well. She's what she's meant to do is really punish overextending flankers.
Yeah, and that was the thing with Roadhog as well. Obviously, there was huge outcry over that, and he was nerfed into the ground.
Which
See if the same thing
I'm
happens
assuming
to
is going to happen to Brigitte if
yeah. See.
Blizzard's track record's anything to go by.
Yeah.
Nerfing heroes into the ground.
Yeah.
Or just not having them good ever. Sombra.
I mean, Sombra, she's
She's
very
good
niche.
now.
Yeah.
But she's wasn't
good in
for a very
specific
long time.
Yeah.
I think the sad part is there's a lot of heroes that fit into that category. I think it's a lot better with this meta. It's a lot better. Okay, you're seeing a lot more of the other tanks played. You're seeing a lot more Roadhog, a lot more Zarya, a lot more Reinhardt. When in the dive meta, all you saw was Winston, D.Va. That's it.
Yeah, and I do think the Overwatch League kind of skews the perspective on this, because we do see all these various comps going on in Stage 4, obviously.
Yeah.
The most updated patch. But I don't think that's really representative of what's going on in normal ladder play.
Oh, definitely.
Most matches, people just run, Brigitte, Rein, Zarya, the classic Season 10 comp, basically.
You even run, even at Masters, you're seeing people run single healer with a Brigitte, which is not fun for anyone.
Yeah.
Because they just go off, especially with like a off healer, someone like a Zenyatta, and they just can't heal anything. Or like even a Lucio is not fun.
Yeah. And Lucio is another one of those heroes that's always been kind of in and out. Right now he's pretty far out.
Lucio's, I think, one of the most balanced heroes in the game, though.
Yeah. And I do agree with that, and that's why I don't really agree with Blizzard constantly changing things about his kit. I do agree with the big overhaul they did a while back, where they increased his aura size and
made it see it and stuff. That was a long time ago.
The wall riding changes that recently went through, I do think that kind of lowers.
Were they necessary? Because I think he's not being played now. After the changes, he's not going to be played. It didn't do anything other than make it easier for people to pick him up.
Yeah, it's just kind of a quality of life change for people who just wanted to try Lucio. I don't really think it.
Which it's a quality of life change which I appreciate, but it's on a hero that's never played.
Yeah, and on top of that, it angered a lot of hardcore Lucio mains because it disrupted many of the rollouts and speed boost tactics they had been practicing. So.
Definitely, because it lowered, but it was meant to make it so you could do more, but it made you be able to do less, because a lot of things that you've worked out over, like playing this game for an entire year, you learned how to like hit the best jumps to get to the point faster. It's a lot like learning the smokes or the where to scope in CSGO. It takes a long time, and there was a lot of reward because you could get back to that point really fast. But now you can't do that anymore. It takes away learning of so long to be able to do that.
And I kind of worry that that's going to be a pattern for other heroes, that we're going to see that happen to various others.
I think Overwatch is taking a cue from Fortnite, which is bad. It's appealing to the more casual player.
Yeah.
Fortnite, I know this is a very controversial opinion, Fortnite is literally the most casual game you can get. People are like, oh no, it's Ninja plays it, it's very viable. No, because the thing is, these guns, like, they're taking away, I don't want to get too much into Fortnite, but they take away, there's a lot of really good videos on it. I keep interrupting myself. They take away all of the skills in the game. Yeah. They're making snipers worse. They're messing with the shotgun build meta, which basically means you can't build up and shotgun someone to the head because you were a better player than them. and I don't even play Fortnite that much. It's just they're taking away a lot of the things that made it a hardcore competitive game, which I think is what they're also doing with Overwatch.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring up Fortnite. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. So obviously, a lot of people right now are saying, "Oh, Overwatch is dead. Overwatch is dying. Dead game. Don't play. Don't buy." And I do think a large portion of that audience are the people, just the huge conglomeration of people playing Fortnite who just completely own up to their game, and any other game is just completely exempt from their field of view.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Did you see Fortnite recently surpassed Overwatch for concurrent players?
No, I didn't. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how recently it was, but I saw it the other day, and it really made me realize for the first time, Overwatch is never going to be the Call of Duty. It's never going to be the most mainstream game, but it's going to be it's going to be a very competitive game. When it finally boils down from all the casuals, from all the people who barely played it, it's going to become a very competitive game at its core.
And I think very similarly to CSGO, what's happened to that, obviously a lot of players have over the years left it, and now what remains is a very hardcore, competitive, but strong base of players.
Or even something like StarCraft 2, which is an entirely competitive game. If you go online, it's very, very not that many people online, but the competitive scene is still very much alive.
Yeah. Speaking of other news, actually, don't know if you saw the recent tweet by Blizzard.
I did not.
The little teaser we have about a possible new hero.
Oh, I actually did. Never mind.
Yes.
The wall?
Hammond, yeah. Everybody's speculating Hammond.
I don't know. I don't like when people are like, "Oh, this is 100% the next hero," because look what happened with Orisa, right? Everyone was like, "Oh, it's Numbani, Doomfist," and it was like, "Nope, it's a horse. It's made out of robots by a little girl." It's like, well, that's about as far away from Doomfist as you can get. When Moira came out, everyone was like, Doomfist, who had already come out at that point.
Just keep releasing Doomfist.
Redo. All the heroes are now Doomfist.
Yes.
No, but no one saw Moira coming. I think even with Brigitte, a lot of people didn't see her coming, even though she was in a lot of stuff. I think that was why. And I almost think that Blizzard is just not going to release Hammond right now.
It would be a pretty big misplay, not misplay, but misdirection with the little animated thing they released recently. Obviously, there's the monkey on the center. There's
the changes to Horizon, which is what this podcast is named after.
And all the lore that people have, all the lore Blizzard has released on Hammond and Winston and Horizon Lunar Colony. And also, with how the hero release schedules usually been, we usually see another hero in the July sort of area. So I'm 95% sure it's a new hero, 60% sure it's Hammond.
I see where you're coming from. Everything says it's going to be Hammond, and that's the only reason I think it's not going to be. Because for a long time, do you remember? I don't know if you played this back then, but do you remember the Sombra ARG?
Yes.
Before Honor was released, everyone was like, "Oh, Sombra, this is going to be Sombra. Watch it, Sombra." And then they're like, "Nope, it's an old Egyptian lady who doesn't have an eye, who's also a sniper who can heal." It's like, wow, that was not correct at all.
That ARG was a huge mistake, honestly. There.
It was. I think have you seen the I Love Bees ARG done by Halo?
No.
Okay, so Halo released so they released a trailer, and at the very end it like flickered across the screen for a second, ilovebees.com. And it was this really good ARG promoting the game. It was so good. I don't know how versed you are with ARGs, but it was honestly one of the best ARGs to promote a video game I've ever seen. And I wasn't like, I didn't do it at the time, but I've seen it now and I can really appreciate it. But I think they tried to impersonate that too hard.
Yeah, and obviously we haven't seen them ever really do that again, at least not on that scale, which I think is the correct choice. It was kind of the suspense just built for too long that people got sick and tired of it.
I mean, that's also what happened with Doomfist. How much is Doomfist played?
Yeah. Honestly, that's just due to his difficulty.
Yeah, he's not a great hero, but we can talk about that a different day. But he was awesome while he was an idea, while he was something we could have. And when we got him, we were all that hype, all of that, we want this, kind of just derailed a bit. Because where were we going to put it? We had the thing we wanted. It wasn't great, but we had it. And it's like, where do we go from here?
Yeah. Honestly, like, most of the time, the reality does not live up to the expectation for new heroes. And
for anything,
really. It
really.
always will be, yeah. Anything in life, honestly, most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dive into philosophy, but yeah, I think people hype up new heroes a bit too much. Like, they're going to... I mean, obviously, with Brigitte, she was completely game-changing. And, yeah, she was probably the most game-changing character they've introduced yet. And the hype for that... There wasn't actually a lot of hype for that, though, was there? Because they didn't tease her that much. There was the short, like, kind of hints at her, but there wasn't, like, a prolonged lore. And I mean, obviously, we'd see her in the shorts, but...
I don't know. I think Blizzard... Okay, so Overwatch is a community that prides itself on getting to stuff before we're meant to. Like, for the summer events, every single skin was leaked.
Was it?
Yeah. Except for yeah, every single skin was leaked. For the last Halloween event, everything was leaked.
Yeah.
For even I believe the Uprising event, almost everything was leaked. And that was it was crazy to me, the lengths these people go to find these skins like 2 days before they come out.
Yeah.
It's really...
honestly, it's impressive.
It's impressive, but it's like, don't you have anything better to do? But I'm not gonna judge them. They're probably be the ones who listen to this, if anyone does. But I'm just saying, like, it's a thing that Overwatch's community is really particular about.
Yeah.
And I think that if Blizzard does anything like that this time, it's gonna be found out, and it's just not gonna be great. You know?
And there's an argument to be made that, those data miners are hurting the hype, because obviously they're kind of ruining the surprise in a way.
Well, yeah, they are ruining hype, but they also hype it up more because you know what you're getting. And if you don't like it, then you're not hyped. But if you do, then you're more hyped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's kind of
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because it goes back. It's also about loot boxes like that, right? It's like leading up to it, you don't know what you're gonna get, and then as soon as you do, you're either disappointed or happy.
Yeah.
Which is why loot boxes suck and are great. They suck because I spend all my money on them.
Yeah.
But they're great because I get like... yeah, I get a...
Welcome to the world of microtransactions.
I know, dude. EA. You know Minecraft has microtransactions now?
Yes. I actually downloaded it again the other day.
It's insane.
My childhood was ruined. What the hell are they
It's
doing?
like they're being run by EA or something.
Yeah.
All
I don't
the
know
shots.
If that's Microsoft's doing or Mojang's. But
I don't think they changed the game too much, but that's not what we're going to talk about. So for our last few minutes, last like 5 minutes of this podcast, I thought we could do a quick recap of E3.
Ooh, all right.
Now, I know you didn't really pay too much attention to that, did you?
I'm only hyped for Elder Scrolls 6. That's all I needed to come away from E3 with. I've got my dose of hype.
Really? Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, I'm hyped. I put a lot of hours into Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition, modding it, delving into the lore and everything. That was my...
Alright, well, you want to talk about Bethesda. What about Fallout 76?
I'm also interested in that, actually. That might be the first Fallout game I
Is it gonna be another what's that? ESO?
I hope not.
Bethesda and multiplayer do not go together.
Yeah.
At all.
Track record with that.
They're very, very bad.
I mean, ESO's not a complete
failure. No.
It's got some...
You have to buy the other places. There's a season pass.
I don't really agree with...
It's not a good...
Yeah, that's not the best way to run a multiplayer.
Quake. Not great.
Yeah.
Oh, that was...
Bethesda also came out with the Starfield announcement.
Starfield?
Yeah. Which will be interesting. Sci-fi, RPG. We don't really have a lot of details on it, but...
I did not see that. I saw a Rage, too.
Hype because it's taking up time. They could be working on Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay, you need to calm down.
I'm very passionate about Elder Scrolls 6.
See, Bethesda is... I love them as a game studio. They're one of the best. They're up there with Blizzard and, Naughty Dog. Really big games, but they've never made a good online game. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've ever made a good online game. Quake was not good. I didn't like it at all. I'm just kind of going through here, and it doesn't seem like they've made anything good.
No, I think, single player things are their specialty.
But they're great at single player. Wolfenstein, some of the best games I've ever played. More so the first than the second. Skyrim for the Switch is going to be bad. It was bad. Dishonored, so fun. Fallout 4 was just not as good as Fallout the other ones, but it was still fun. Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't recommend they completely stick to single player. Obviously, they want to broaden their horizons.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, they're crown jewels of a series. Obviously, Skyrim and Fallout.
I think this is the good way to go with that, though.
Yeah.
Also, Doom.
Doom wasn't developed by Bethesda, though, wasn't it?
No, it was produced, though.
Was it published? But I think it was published.
Whatever, it was something by Bethesda.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, well, this has been the first episode of the Horizon Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching or whatever. Go ahead and check out our website in the description. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like if you like this. And we'll be back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Whenever.
We'll be back when you guys want us to come back. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.